When we see people running a nonprofit, helping people in need, we often say, such a kind person, she really loves helping others. But do we ever ask why? What happened in her life to make her care so deeply, enough to spend her time, her energy, and her money, just to make life better for someone else? That's where the Untold Stories begins. Do we really know our friends, their stories, our neighbor? You live next to a person for so many years and you have no idea what story that person has. And that's what we're gonna do today. There are some people that go through so many things in life, so many traumas. And you know what they do? They put that little pain in a box, lock that box, throw the key away, and move forward. It's easy? No. Do they still carry that pain? Yes. But they decided to use that in a different way to help others. And this is what we're doing here today. We are gonna meet Christina Half-Fines. Come with me. Christina!
Hi.
How are you?
Good to have you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, you're welcome.
This is awesome. I'm so excited to know more about you, to know more about what you do.
I'm excited to be able to share.
Christina, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm really honored that you're going to share your story with us today. So who is Christina?
So I, often ask that myself. I've been trying to do some, soul searching to figure out who I am, because I came from a very broken past to changing my life to being somebody better. But at the end of the day, I'm a mom. I work for an amazing company that does medical billing that I absolutely love. And I am a founder of a nonprofit that I absolutely love.
To be the owner of the nonprofit, you went through a lot in the past to make who you are today.
Yes.
A lot of abuse, so can you share with us a little bit about your childhood?
Yeah, so, it started from birth. I was born to parents who were addicted to drugs and alcohol. So from the time I was born, I had issues. I was raised from, different family members, from sometimes mom, sometimes dad, in between mom being in prison, dad being a drug dealer himself, to aunts, to grandma. My grandma raised me the most. I'm the closest to my grandma. There was periods of time where I encountered sexual abuse, physical abuse from my mom, verbal abuse from my mom. Dad wasn't very abusive. He was just a drug dealer. I mean, at the time,
just a drug dealer.
Yeah, at the time, I didn't know that was going on. It took years to where till he finally got busted, and so he got out of everything. So he had to move out of the county, out of Marion County was the only thing he got out of it. So he lives down in Spencer, Indiana.
And where's mom?
Mom has passed away. Mom passed away about 5 years ago now.
I'm sorry about that. And then you went from a broken family to a marriage.
Yes, I got married at 22. I still think it's my one soulmate. Marriage was pretty good. I mean, we started off rocky from his ex, and the biological mother of my oldest had committed suicide day after we got married. So that was, a struggle. I was 22, he had 3 kids, I had 1, and I was pregnant with my youngest. So started off fun. And everybody said we wouldn't make it because he was much older. But we did. We lasted almost 10 years. And the last years when he just decided he wanted something different and was seeing a couple other people. And so we got divorced. And
at that time you had 2 kids?
Yes. So I had 2 kids, my son and daughter, and then his oldest daughter is my daughter. We bonded from day one, so she's always been my daughter.
So it's interesting because so many people would say, they're having a hard time in life, but it's the choice they make.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't agree with that. I don't know. I mean, you came from, you had no options. When you were given options and then you choose the bad one, right? And that's on you.
Right.
And a lot of times, kids and teenager, we're going to talk about this in a little bit for what do you do for others, but you just don't have option, right? You just can't see out of your dark path.
Right. I mean, I didn't know all the good and that there was good people. I was raised, you know, like I said, my mom was in and out of prison. It was always drugs and alcohol and abuse, and that's all I knew. And so, but something in me from a young age, I always wanted to. When I became a mom, I wanted to be a better parent than my parents were to me. I just knew that there had to be something better out there. And so I had to fight. I had to fight really hard to get out of that. I've made so many bad decisions and choices because that's all I knew. Stealing money from people, stealing from stores, that's all I knew. That's how we had to get by. We didn't have money to do things. And so if I wanted something, that's how I had to do it.
And then you had some problem with the law, did you?
Yes. So after my first marriage, I was struggling to take care of my kids. My ex wasn't in the picture. Made some bad choices with some friends and got into some legal trouble and caused me to have a felony on my record. And it was that moment hitting rock bottom that I just knew that if I didn't change, I was going to be in prison. My kids was not going to
You're going to follow the same path again that you're trying to get away from.
Yep.
Trauma leaves scars. It can leave anger, sadness, and silence. But Christina made a choice to turn her pain into purpose. She noticed a problem that many people were facing, just like she had once. And instead of waiting for someone else to fix it, she created something powerful. She created Hygiene Hub. And that's when you started leading from going to food pantry and you had a job, right?
Yes.
But it was still not.
I
wasn't paying the bills.
No, I was still trying to take care of 2 kids on my own and pay bills and rent. At that time, it still wasn't cheap, and so I go into food pantries and just realized that we had a gap in our system at that time. And you know, here I am trying to stay single and not get involved with any more men, and so I needed something to fill the void, and so I became a couponer.
Tell me about that.
So yes, I got obsessed with getting things for free.
So you would go to the food pantry, you would get what you need, but it was still something missing.
Yeah, so the hygiene products, most food pantries don't have those items. So when they did have some, you could pick like one. So I could pick shampoo, I could pick laundry soap, but I couldn't get all the hygiene products that we needed. And so I became obsessed with couponing and getting those items. And then it just kept going, and I kept getting things for free and cheap, and that was a new excitement, and I became
for yourself
obsessed.
And for others?
So it started with just myself and my kids, and then I was helping friends, and then I was like, okay, well, if we need these, then so does other people. So I started posting on pay it forward sites, and then I would go meet people in at the gas station or at the police station and give them a bag of hygiene products. And then it just kept growing and still growing 13 years later.
And what was your feeling when you could give that to someone and they of course thank you for everything, but it's what joy that brings that to
So
you?
I felt like, in my mind, this was the way I was able to right my wrongs. So I wasn't able to make it right with the people I wronged, but I was able to do something good for somebody else. And I know that's not really how it works, and but in my mind, that's how I needed to justify.
Well, it works in your heart.
Yeah.
That's how it makes you feel better.
Yeah. And it just gave me purpose. It gave me a reason to keep living. And I always say that, and I always have to say that my kids are enough for me to live, but even to now, they're adults, and so they don't need me as much, but I still need a purpose. And I need a purpose for me outside of being a mom, and this was it.
Okay, so you started coupon, started helping that way, and because you went through so much in your past, because you learn from the past made you who you are today. And then you're like, what was the click that like, I'm going to start a nonprofit?
So I think it was realizing that I had hit rock bottom and there was nowhere else to go but up. Like I said, from a young age, I knew that there was something better out there. And I felt like now was the time to find that better. I found Mercy Road Church. I actually went there to try to get rent paid because that's where the school sent me to. And I started attending church for the first time. Quickly after, got baptized and was just determined to live a better life. I was determined to, help others and share my story because I wanted other people to know that just because you do something bad or you make bad choices doesn't mean your life is over. I was slowly learning that myself and just realizing that our past doesn't define us, and and the bad doesn't make who we are now.
And not use that to be like, well, the world owes me. People didn't do, well.
And that's how
just like blaming everybody else.
Yeah, and that's how my mom was till the day she died. Like, she made me feel so guilty all the time, which, and she always blamed everybody else for her issues. Everybody else was her reason of doing drugs. Everybody else, and I was not going to be that person. Like, I was going to use that and everybody else's problems and things that they did to me to change and to do better and to show people that you can change your life. Just because you grew up that way doesn't mean that's how you have to be. You can be better. Yeah, so over here is pads and tampons. And then we have some deodorant, toothpaste, bar soap, shampoo, laundry soap. It's all the items that food pantries don't always have and food stamps doesn't cover.
And diapers.
Yes, over here we have diapers and wipes that we are fortunate enough to have a partnership with the Indiana Diaper Bank, so we get a discounted cost.
Who is your big donor?
So right now, Citizens Gas is one of our bigger donors. We have a lot of monthly donors. We are able to get some of the Family Foundation grants. We are just now got to partner with the Pacer Foundation WNBA women's basketball. We got a Pacer Foundation grant to supply period packs into IPS schools, which is leading us to partner with the WNBAs coming here for our Star Games in July. And they are packing like 30,000 to 50,000 period packs for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I know you donate part of this to schools, and also individuals can just come and grab some, right?
Yeah, so on the third Saturday of the month is our monthly pantry that anybody in the community can come to. They just pull up, it's a drive-through pantry, and they can get all the items they need.
Christina and I met when we were doing a Bible study together, a discipleship group, probably like 5 or 6 years ago now. And it was our service project to come serve and volunteer at the pantry. And that was my first exposure to getting to know Christina and getting to know what she's doing with her life and her mission here. The one takeaway in getting to know Christina that changed me so deeply just about her as a person is most of us, we don't start contributing to the world until we have abundance or like we feel like we have an excess of resources. And getting to know Christina, her bar, like where that line is for her is just so different than what most of us in the world would ever consider doing. And so for her, she's like, I have enough, or I have close to enough. So how can I help someone else at this point? And it's just such a shift in mindset where we have this mindset of like gaining from the world and what we can get out of a situation. And then you meet someone who's like, I'm getting by okay. So that means that I have the means to help the next person. And it was just such a life-changing experience for me to get to know someone like that and start to shift my mindset from like more to give. Their time and talents to this cause means something to me and means something to the world. And it changed my vantage point.
Behind every act of kindness, there is an untold story. Christina's story is one of hope. What is yours?
This segment is sponsored by Ed Martin Automotive Group, a brand that believes in kindness, community, and giving back. Thank you.
Do we really know our neighbors? Do we really know our friends? What about the stories they don't tell us? What about the trauma they had in life, and actually they never talk about it. Do you really know? No. Not yet. Hold on. How did you guys meet?
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
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 Go ahead. You can say it.
I can start answering now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Why am I getting nervous?
Yeah.
Because there's a camera there. Where if there wasn't a camera there,
So she's the one you're talking
No.
about.
Yeah.